As we've grown tremendously over the years, almost 10% each of the last 5 years alone, we found ourselves in need of not only more space, but increasingly more sophisticated space. The space we've had an opportunity to tour this morning is the molecular laboratory, and that's a technology that requires some very specific space in terms of ventilation and physical separation to avoid cross-contamination, and we're very fortunate to have exactly the right space to do that. Many people are doing these types of tests in space that's been heavily modified to try and meet some of those needs. And as you noticed as I'm walking through this morning, everything is separated into separate zones. We have a zone that's completely separated where reagents are prepared. We have another place where samples are received and manipulated. We have another area where we do amplification, which is where we make more DNA. This becomes one of the key issues is once we do that, cross-contamination, since we've made so many copies of it, becomes a challenge. And by having that area physically and separated from an area of ventilation as well, allows us to control any of those cross-contamination issues. One of the things you might have noticed is that we don't see people going from room to room over there. If they do transfer from one room to another, they take their lab coats off, they change all of their personal protective gear, pens, pipetters, other equipment doesn't move between the rooms, and there's a pass-through located in between each of those areas, so we can move specimens without introducing cross-contamination. So this has been a very fortunate undertaking for us that we've been able to build this space. And what we're seeing as well is that some of the testing that we do by more traditional methods today are increasingly being done by molecular methods, which are faster, more sensitive, and in many cases much more accurate than the older methods that we used to use. So we see particularly molecular biology as the cutting edge, and we're very happy to be able to offer that right here in mid-Michigan.